Hey America, welcome back to the Shear'Ree Show. Hey listen, first of all I want to thank you for taking the time to watch. I want to thank everyone who has watched my prior shows and shared them with others. And again, because you know that's part of reuniting, is helping one another. And what I want to talk about is as it's stated, I want to talk about American resistance. Now, what I'm going to say is it's somewhat deep, but I've been saying it mildly throughout my other shows, but I really want to make it clear here. You know, everybody asks, millions of people for that matter, asking, you know, why are these people throwing California under the bus, and why is the Obama clan doing this, and people doing this, and other people who have other politicians who have been in office for quite a long time. All of a sudden now they're changing, you know, their hat around and saying, no, we're going the other way. You know, it's like they're all afraid, you know, to stand up to what's going on. And here's what's going on. And not that this is new or anything, but it's just setting the stage. You know, Islamic immigration, Muslim refugees. You know, if you think about this, and how they staged themselves, if you would, how the government staged itself. And I don't mean just over since Obama has walked on the platform, but I'm talking about prior to that. We all heard of mind control, brainwashing. In fact, you can look it up anywhere on the net. There's a lot of stuff you can see about it. But you know, psychology is used everywhere. I have a psychology background, and I used, and mainly where I got into it was basically because of a lot of businesses that I dealt with were sales orientated, marketing, so forth, things like that. And a lot of people don't really understand what conscious mind and subconscious mind really mean and how it works and so forth and so on. Like subliminal advertising, for an example, you know, where they basically say you're not allowed to do that, but hey, it still goes on. And subliminal, what it does really is your subconscious is picking that up. I mean, for an example, children at a very early age, they really unknowingly start to understand the benefits of psychology, and they become very good at controlling, if you would, what they want, mainly from their parents. Now, you look at our television, and again, most of you are probably familiar with the saying, the persuasion of television. Now, we all been talking about, when I say we all been talking about, you know, over the past year and a half with this election and so forth, is how these social medias and mainstream media and all that is, you know, is bought and sold and so forth and so on and so on. Oh yeah, they are. But what you probably didn't know is that all of their foregoing segments of what they do and how they're going to do it, it's all set. It's all psychological. A few shows ago, you heard me talk about the word disqualifying, where Trump has mentioned it a few times. You know, we know the saying, like, you know, Hitler says, hey, you know what, you're going to tell a lie and say it over and over and over until it becomes a truth. Well, what really struck me on the word qualify was actually one of the training sessions that I had when I was involved in a lot of the insurance sales of health and life insurance and things like that. And you have to understand, you know, men are, the male dominant, as they say. The woman is the submissive, so forth and so on. So they're basically, what they're saying is man is stronger than woman, and so forth and so on. Well, first of all, I'm not going to get into that, but that's not my total belief. But my point is when you are, like on the insurance side, when we were selling it, men are very egotistical, if you would. Like, I'm a man. I can do this, I can do that. So in a presentation sales process, I used and set up the word for all my agents to use the word, if you qualify. And there are so much statistics on words and things and so forth from a psychological basis. It's unreal. And my point is that there are some words that when you use them more than 3 times, you're going to get a reaction very quickly. Some words may take 6 times, and so forth and so on. Generally speaking, when I and my agents were to use the word if you qualify, after about the 3rd or 4th time, all of a sudden the male dominant say, what do you mean if I qualify? I own my own business, this, that, what do I have to do? Bang, done. Sign it, I'm out of there. So my point is, you really got to pay attention to what's going on and all the other medias, news medias that are saying things. A lot of them are actually saying them verbatim. Some of them are saying them in a somewhat different flavor. But nevertheless, it's the point that they're getting across and want to get out there. Now, you look at has gone on in all these other countries with all this Islamic migration and things like that. All these refugees are coming in, and you look at how they're bringing them into the United States. Now, a lot of people are saying, well, we can't have this. This needs to stop. Why isn't anybody doing anything? So forth and so on. Well, you people, and in some of my other shows where I basically said you guys were cowards and lazy and this and that, whatever, I wasn't being facetious or mean. I was being truthful. But what a lot of you may not know is that you've been put in that submissive way, if you would. How is that? Well, for an example, I've worked with, oh my God, thousands of gang members, gangs and so forth, and throughout a lot of states. And you now hear of like what they call no-go zones. Well, a lot of people, when I say a lot of people, let me rephrase that. People who were working to try and curtail this gang violence, a lot of them, they wouldn't be going into those areas. Why? Fear. They're afraid. Why are they afraid? And then you say to other people, some people that aren't afraid to go in there. When you start to see destruction, like for an example, all that's going around in the world, and you're seeing all what these Muslim refugees are doing, and so forth and so on and so on and so on. It's so repetitive throughout the news media and news outlets, good and bad, and it's creating fear. In fact, let me rephrase that. It has created fear. And so now you look at the little things that happen here in our country, United States of America, opposed to the other countries. There's a lot less activity per se. However, going to San Bernardino and those neighbors who just felt very strong that something isn't right, but they didn't say anything because they were afraid. And you need to understand the psychology of what's going on. And excuse me again for looking up, but I'm doing this because people say things and you wonder, well, are they saying it truthfully, or is that not right, or is it correct or incorrect or whatever? And I've always been one to always have third-party facts. It's like, don't take my word for it. Hey, look it up. I mean, just see it out. And It is, you know. So when you look at mind control, and there's a lot of stuff on the internet you guys can just go through. But basically, mind control, it's also brainwashing, eradication, brain sweeping, cohesive persuasion, total control of thought and everything. And this started. Oh my God! This started way back, early, and a lot of it surfaced in the 50s and 60s. As a matter of fact, in 60s, all the televisions shows, when they closed out, they had a national anthem playing. And what was going on in there, and you can actually look this up in fact, you have a YouTube video about it. The subliminal messaging that was taking place in the words as the anthem was being sung. And, they slow it down for you, and you can see what it is that they're saying to you. So another analogy because I want to make sure we're on the same page here before I go a little bit further, but another analogy of this is that, children, they're watching television a lot. And all of these programmings for kids, it's so psychological, so subliminal. I mean, it's unreal. And then you wonder, why do these children have this buy me, and I want all this great stuff and so forth. That's what the message is coming out with this. That's how they're doing it. I mean, cigarettes. A lot of people never understood that. And their ads were in the stores were put on a child's level, so they were seeing it. In psychological strategies will differ from generation to generation and century to century. Like, for an example, in my generation of 50s, 60s, we were learned to react to the color amber. If you ever wondered why you see McDonald's, they have an amber arc. You look at Wendy's got amber, Denny's got amber, so forth, so on and so on. Amber is of the yellow family. Why? Because when we were kids, we were always looking for what? The yellow bus. When we drive, still today, what are we looking at? Not even knowing it, the yellow lines. Why is it that when you're driving and all of a sudden you feel yourself, you're slowing down and you're like, what am I slowing down? Oh, a flashing yellow light. And I want to just understand that, because, see, as this became known more and more and more, people realize, wow, if I put up a sign and says, eat here, stop at Joe's, it works. Wow, if I made it a color, it works even better. Then they got into motion, the psychologicalness of motion. Like, in other words, they have a flashing light, more likely yellow, amber color, and the signs above there say, hey, look at me, look at me. Like right now, I bet you a lot of you are looking at my inner shirt saying, is that pink or is that purple? Is that a shirt or robe? This is all subliminal. This is all subconscious. So I need you to understand this. So when you look at this and what's going on, they have been setting us up for a long time. That's why I kept saying, pay attention to what's happening throughout your neighborhood, your city, your community, your state, and of course your home, which is the United States. Now, back up. All these Muslim immigrants are starting to come into our country. And we right now are basically up in arms about it, as if it started. No, it didn't start now. It started way back. They have pumped so much money into our schools, our colleges, corporations, politicians. Oh, I can go on and on and on. And the stage was being slowly set and put together. And we are not giving any resistance. And the reason we're not giving any resistance, because we're in fear. Because this is what they bestowed on us. We're in fear. And the government is controlled. We have the control. No. But this is what they want to do. Why do you think they took government teaching out of the schools umpteen years ago? They don't want these kids being educated. And for that matter, look at the educational system. And again, what a joke. I mean, it's worse. I said in one of my shows, I toured the school districts twice and throughout this United States. And I'll tell you, it's worse now than it's ever been. But that's how they want it. They don't want any smart kids. So my point is, you talk about American resistance, and it's all based on fear. Now, in a lot of my shows, I mentioned Trump's campaign and Trump himself, and I mentioned being a forced diversion possibly. I said, hope he's real and so forth and so on. I've also said, hey, what happens if something happens to Trump? What's our plan B? Do we have a plan B? My point is that, first of all, I am a Trump fan. I hope that he does. I pray to God that he does get in as our next president. I really do. But I am a way bigger American fan. That's where I'm coming from. That's why my campaign of reuniting America, for a stronger America, we have to reunite. But we have to understand what's going on. Why do you think they're creating so much diversion? Trying to divide us every which way that they can. Because we're then not centering on what they're really doing, which is bringing in all these refugees, these Muslim refugees. And stop and think about that. So now they're in our schools. They're teaching Sharia law, Sharia court. I mean, again, this was set up from way back. Now, as it's being allowed, yes, you have to ask yourself, well, why isn't our government stopping this? Well, we know why Obama is, because Obama, first of all, that's a whole other issue that he's not even supposed to be there. I'm surprised that our military and our people and our militias of people, because read the Constitution, you'll see how it goes. He should have been removed a long time ago, along with every other threat to this United States and the United States people. But no one's doing nothing. It's fear. And they probably were threatened. But is that really the American that we know of? I mean, we had no fear in World War I, II, Vietnam. I mean, I'm going on. Our servicemen, no. Our servicemen in no way are cowards or pussies like these people we have in office that don't want to do nothing. No, I tell you what, all you people should every day make sure that you pray for our servicemen and our police officers, our LEOs. Back to badge. Back to badge. Anyway, let me get back on track here. Look, we cannot not understand and see what's going on and not do nothing. We really have to be pro-America, be proactive. We have to resist. Okay? And when I say resist, I'm not talking about going out there and smacking someone with a bat, although that's really not a bad idea. But anyways, what I'm talking about is per our Constitution. We have all the means. We have all the means to take hold of what's going on and stop it. But we aren't doing it because we're afraid. And I don't understand that, because if we don't do something now, and that word now is almost like callous to everybody, because I've been saying the word now a long time, and now means now. Look at all of the damage, and look how deep, in fact, really look how deep just in the past, 90 days that the refugees have not just submerged, but I mean, just intertwined in all of our United States, our policies, our judicial system. I mean, I can go on, and we're allowing it. No one's like doing nothing. And again, see, that's how they're playing it. They're showing all this stuff here, from killings and bombings and shootings. I mean, I can go on, and so again, let's keep that fear. Let's keep that fear. Fear is the number one suppressant that you could possibly use. Fear. I mean, even down to someone wants to never been swimming. Fear of the water, fear to jump in, and then once they get there, okay to so. But my point is, fear. We're living in fear, and we shouldn't be. We really need to step up, and these lawsuits that are coming that these Muslims are doing. It's how ridiculous, but no one's doing nothing. Now, why aren't we suing the government? Actually, some states are, but point is, why aren't we the people? Why aren't we in our schools and saying, no, this ain't it. You're not teaching this. We're not. Our kids won't come here. Why are we not? Again, voicing, not just in a post and whatever, but I mean, actually voicing, writing our congressmen. I mean, I told you guys in one of my shows about I'm a big backer of the Fifth Amendment, which is Convention of States. My site's a little bit under construction right now, but I'm going to have actually a letter that you people can download and put your name and so forth and mail it to your congressperson. As a matter of fact, with that said, if any of you want that information right now, hey, message me, give me your email address. I'd be more than happy to shoot out the letter, and I also have a link for all the Congress people in the United States. So whoever your congressperson is, you can put your name, address, boom, boom, stick a stamp on it, go. But make sure you make a copy of it. Anyways, but we got to do something. It's like a lot of people saying, they ask me what I can do, and then you get some smart yo-yo say, well, what are you doing? Well, I'm doing this. I'm doing this because I want to get more people to do this. I want to get more people to really hear what I have to say and reunite, start to reunite. I mean, even in your own neighborhoods, there's people there that you may haven't talked to or don't want to talk to or whatever. No, hey, present yourself. Open the door. I mean, really, get together. It's not gonna. We are not going to become reunited the way things are going. You people are falling for all of those enticement division traps. That it's why, So again, it's like, think about that. You look at when I talk about mind control and wow, that's, you can go on and just look at this stuff. Look at the psychology behind what they do at TV, and now you got iPads, your phones, music. Wow, there's a lot, and it is very powerful. Again, it's like going back to what I said. You say something, more than 3 times. In fact, actually, one of the training sessions I used to do for when people would meet somebody is, when they're in a conversation, say their name 3 times when you're talking to them. For an example, Sharon, I'm really a pleasure to meet you. And you know what, Sharon? I think that this would work well. And Sharon, I hope that we can talk about this some more. And you're doing that. Why? Because you're sticking in your head to what that person's name is. And so when you see Obama out there and all these other corrupt government officials saying that, Hillary is great, Obama's, Trump is no good, and I mean, they're trying to make their lies to become truth. That's all part of the the brainwashing, the brain sweeping. Let's keep saying it over and over and over. And look how many people's already fallen for it. I mean, in reality, it putting aside any notoriety between Trump and Hillary, but if they came to your company for a job and their backgrounds were identical to what they are right now, would you honestly hire somebody who has been so deceptive and murderous and treasonous and just an habitual liar? I don't think so. You look at Trump and all you see there is success. You know, no one's perfect, but Trump shines way, way brighter than Hillary could even imagine. So again, you know, you look at that and say, why are these people following him? Because they bought into it. They drank the Kool-Aid. It's no different than when the Obama thing came aboard. You know, and now, even now, on that subject, on a few shows that I went to about the removal of him, because if you impeach him, you know, or he just slides out, you know, in a normal course of his term, yeah, there's, you know, he gets all this money, this boom, bang, da da da. On the other hand, if he's removed, well, there's some different conditions there. Now, again, this just came out. It's as a matter of fact, it's already on Facebook about his birth certificate. He's not qualified to be in that office. So why is he there? Because fear. You know, why Hillary, I mean, she should be in prison right now. And why isn't she? Because of fear. You know, I mean, it's we have to become more proactive in what we're doing. And that is, we have to make sure that we take our country back. Now, it's great to see, by the way, everybody's pretty much getting a heads up now on voter fraud, because, oh yeah, oh, believe me, yeah, that's I got ridiculed for that several shows ago, but hey, no, it's true, and it's here, isn't it? So we really need to really understand that, and that's something that we, whichever way we do end up voting, we have to make sure we have copies of who we voted for in the event of a recount. And even with that said, I mean, I actually have, in my mind, I'm thinking to myself, I can't believe I'm saying this, because it's like, how could she possibly win? I mean, and when they talk about that, it really insults my intelligence. It's like, please, you know, here's a person that is just hated by probably 97% of the American people. And the ones that are, again, for her, they're only for her because of fear. You know, even if they were bought, it wasn't really money, it's fear. Why is it fear? Because, yeah, I took the money, they bought me, but I don't want to do this no more, but now I can't. I have to keep going and doing what I'm doing because I'm in fear of my life or my family's life. And you know, you look at Hillary and those people, yeah, they sold their souls to them. They're owned by them. They have to do what they're doing. They can't stop. Now, if I want to get more psychological and strategy, well, if the fact of that, if they did stop, you know, they're going to be in a box somewhere, wow. That means if we put them to a halt, are they going to go and take their shot at them or what? Who knows? But we can't let them continue. We cannot let them continue. So, in close, I want to say that really look this up. Look up mind control. MK Ultra, part of a government mind control. You know, look up Islam migration. You know, on the steps that they take to the end result. You know, we are submissive, and we've been submissive. I mean, going back to fear again, when a person is faced with a very catastrophic trauma, they're very vulnerable. I mean, you look at 9/11, and everybody was just, wow, submissive. And that's again that's part of the controlling. They're setting you in a direction, so you need to look at that and read that and see where we're at, and you need to be involved. Write your congressman. Again, look into the Fifth Amendment situation, Convention of States, and any of you that are out there viewing. Hey, if you want the letter before I get it up on site, hey, email me. I'd be more than happy to do that. So, in close, please always remember this is a government of the people, by the people, and for the people. We are the people, and it's way out of hand. Now, I wish, and it would have been great if we could have been in this position several years ago, or even 4 years ago. We'd be further ahead. But it's better late than never. So don't let all this Muslim stuff overpower you. Don't. If whatever's going on in your school and your kids, man, make a stop to it. All you parents get together. Just write your congressman. Yeah, piss, moan, and groan all the way down the line, because we can't allow this to happen. We can't. So again, in close, see, I said it a third time now. I really pray that God will bless this United States. I pray that God will allow Trump to be president. I pray that no harm comes to the American people. And I pray that justice is served on each and every one of our corrupt government officials and their so-called partners, that they are tried to the fullest extent of the law. And I say this in Jesus' name, amen. Thank you for watching. I'll talk to you soon.